Hello Stitchy friends! It has been 2 weeks since I last filmed, so if you are a returning viewer, thank you for coming back to my Flosstube. If you are new here, I am Sen, I am an artist and designer and more or less full-time creative, and this is my little place on the YouTubes for cross-stitch, which we all know and love. So thank you very much for being here. I hope you will enjoy your time, and thanks for returning if you've been here before. So this is more or less my May wrap-up video. So it is the 1st of June today that I am filming this, and that you're probably seeing it because that is one thing I'm quick with, like the recording, editing, and then uploading it the same day, which is usually what I do. So, yeah, also apologies for looking a bit like a hot mess today. It is very hot here in Germany, like temperatures have exploded on us, and I'm still not I'm still working on getting used to the almost 30 degrees at this time of year. So I have my hair all the way put up, so it doesn't look very nice, I know, but I had to get it out of my face. And I don't know if you can see this on camera, but it probably doesn't show it. Do you see this? I recently picked up some clothes from my mother. Sometimes she gets out stuff that she doesn't want to wear anymore because she has lost a tremendous amount of weight, and I'm still a little chubby bumblebee, so I adopt some of her clothes that I like sometimes, and obviously she pre-washes them before I pick them up. And something about it didn't agree with me for some reason. So when we did head over to my parents' place, I think, yeah, on Saturday, so a few days ago, I asked her, I was like, did you change your laundry detergent or anything? Because, I mean, I never had any problems before. And she was like, no, we need to find a new one because apparently they changed their recipe and put some sort of perfume in it. And I was like, yeah, okay, well, that makes sense because I've never had any issues with any laundry detergent before, but we don't use any perfumed stuff here, so that's probably what it is. So I threw everything that I picked up from her recently and threw it into the laundry. So let's hope that solves it, because those are a few nice pieces that I actually do like, and I do want to keep wearing them. But yeah, anyway, other than that, nothing much happened in these past 2 weeks. I did some more stitching that we will see in a bit. I'm currently quite busy preparing for an art market that we go to this Saturday, so in 2 days from now. So that's still a bunch of stuff that I have to finish doing. Because, yeah, as I said, I am an artist, so I go on to... Oh wait, I have someone here who wants to say hi. Say hi, baby. Yeah. He always wants to sit on my lap, no matter what I do. He keeps me from working and from stitching, and unless he's sleeping, he always wants to be here. Anyway, yeah, what was I saying? Yeah, we do have an art market, so there's still some stuff I need to prepare and to pack and everything. And that's gonna be fun with almost 30 degrees outside, because we do not have a car. We go there by a train and other forms of public transport that we have here. So yeah, I'm a bit glad in that sense that we go early in the morning. So, but yeah, I have droned on enough about stuff. There will probably be some more live updates sprinkled in between when it comes up. So, Mania is over, and I have done a lot. you've seen most of my mania starts in my last video if you've watched it. If you are new, you can hop back to my previous Flosstube video where I show most of my mania starts that I have done in the first 2 weeks of 3 weeks of May. And I haven't done many more starts. Actually, let me check. I only have 3 more starts for Mania that I've done in these past 2 weeks and 1 restart. So that technically counts, more or less. Let me quickly check something. So I have started a total of 14 projects over the course of Mania. So I did not start a new thing every day for the whole month. I did in the beginning, and then I kind of fell off because I wanted to work on some of my actual running whips, and some of my mania starts actually did work on for 2 days. So in total it was 14 new starts plus 1 restart. So let's start with the new ones. I have them somewhere behind me, and I had ordered everything, and then I took out some other stuff, and there the order went. Okay, so let's start with the restart because that's what I have. That's what I have right here. It is a big one. You have seen this if you watched my VIP parade, because I showed the one that I was working on then. This is Waldbach by Artesy, and it is 219 by 300, so it's a mid-sized full coverage, I suppose. I would still call it mid-sized in comparison to what I have. Other things that I have, and I had this top part done. You can see it where the fabric is, where the holes in the fabric are pretty large. And the thing is, I had been doing this 2/1 full cross, and I think this fabric is 18 count. So it looked nice, but it was very, very tight. And because it is so much confetti, it started to warp the fabric, and you can still see it. I mean, it's no longer warping now, but it used to be, by the very tight stitches, they used to warp this fabric extremely. And I thought, okay, I do not want to do it like this. It will not look good if I continue. So I was like, okay, and I do like doing tent stitch for my full coverages. So I was like, how about doing this in 2/1 tent? The coverage, however, was not tight, not it wasn't enough. Let's put it like that. So I thought, okay, apparently I need something in between. So I have restarted this with 3/1 tent. For now, I can't say if it looks good or not, because I'm still in the piece of the fabric that has been warped before, and I don't know if it will focus. You can see the little holes have been. Can I get it to focus? This is a webcam, folks, so it's not the best quality. And yeah, I think you can see. So I will figure this out if I want to keep doing it like this once I put some more stitches into it. But I do not have all the colors for this. And back when I started it, I was still working from a master set, so I did have all the colors, but I have since changed that, and I'm kitting up every project individually. So this one's still missing a few colors, and I will seriously go back to working on it once I have all of them, which will probably not take too long since I work almost exclusively with CXC threads, and as I also mentioned in one of my previous floss tubes, I usually purchase them in small batches. Like CXC, when you order them by color, they come 10 skeins per color. So the way I order them is I check which colors am I missing in the projects that I want to work on soonish, because they take like between 2 weeks and a month to get here because they are from China, and I usually order about 10 to 11 colors per month that I'm missing, which is around 10 to 12 euros, depending on which shop I'm ordering them. And that's the kind of price range that gives me faster shipping. So it will not take 3 months. It will usually take 12 working days for them to get here. So that's, and I also have a limited budget, so I really can't spend too much money on stitching unless I have some extra money coming in from work. New starts. As I said, I have 3. Let's get them more or less in order from the one I have the least to say about to the one I have the most to say about. So that is the thing. And I have forgotten the zippers, so I'm really sorry about that. So, new starts. I have started this one. I've had this pattern for a while now. I have another one of these in green that I showed in my whip parade, which is halfway done. So another small I will hopefully get back to soon to get some finishes. White Raven Patterns is on Etsy. They have a lot of beautiful patterns, small patterns about this size. Also a lot of round patterns that you can do for hoops and such. I'm more like, I like, how do you say it? I like frames better. So maybe I will get into hoop finishing, who knows? But for now, everything, I usually look for things that I can put into into like the frame with edges. English is not my first language, guys. Sometimes I do not remember the words. So this is my start. Let me put something behind it. Oh, good, because you can see through the this. Oh yeah, this is better. And there's my start. You can see the beginning of the dragon. Here's its head, the mama or papa dragon, and the wings. Let me put this one a little further. Oh, that's better. And a little bit of the background with the trees coming in here. So that's also just one evening of work that I put into this, so not too much done. But I really do love her patterns. I have a lot of them. And I could always get more because there are still some that I like that I do not have yet. But I also have so many whips, I really need to crack down on that first before I start many more things. The next new start is also a White Raven design, which is this one. I have 2 others of this series because these are roleplay class symbols. They are like for Dungeons and Dragons and such, and I do play Dungeons and Dragons a lot. And in our Friday group that I usually play another character in, we had some sort of break with the story, with the campaign that we're playing. And we were thinking about playing a module, like a pre-made adventure. So I made, and we all made new characters for that, specifically. And the character I made is a druid, so I was like, okay, I have a new character now. So I need to start a class picture for him. And the way I do these is I do not stitch the actual class, I stitch the character's name. But I haven't gotten to that with this one. And I also do not use the calls for colors. I use variegated thread for this, and I do them in a color matching the actual character. So this one is in greens and orangey browns, like light browns and stuff, something like that. And this is how far I got. This actually had a few days, I think 2 or 3, or maybe even 4 evenings put into it. And look at this variegation. This is I absolutely love it. This is the floss, which is technically part of my haul, but since we had this here, I'm gonna show that to you in a moment. I used to do variegated things with DMC floss, with variegated DMC floss, but I have had issues with it because they often have white in it, so the color changes from, like, say, red to white, and that I do not like that very much. I like more subtle colors, like you've seen in this. So the variegated floss I'm using for this is this one, and I do not know if this brand even has a name, because the only thing that's on the labels is this. And from what I figured, Moulin is just the name of cross-stitch floss in general, because DMC is also called Moulin. These are from Czech, so it's a European brand, and I found them on Amazon. However, I am in Germany, so if you are somewhere in Europe, maybe you can find them as well. If you're American, I'm not sure that Amazon.com would also be able to, that you would also be able to find them, because it is a marketplace seller. But I am absolutely in love with these flosses, and as for the thickness of them, they are also more like they are also more like CXC flosses than DMC, so they are a bit more fluffy. They are thicker than the DMC ones. So for me, who loves using CXC flosses, because I do not only prefer them to DMC for the price, I actually like them better with the way they stitch. These are perfect. 10 out of 10 can recommend. I will definitely look into getting more colors of these to use in the future. And they came in packs of 3 per color for like €5 each. So totally fine. And now we come to my last new start for Maynia. And this is special to me because it is something I have made. And now I might need to go a little bit on a tangent. So I am, how do I start this? I found this Flosstuber. So, I mean, I found a lot of Flosstubers, but I am generally a quite shy person. As in, you wouldn't believe it if you met me, because I talk a lot and I can talk for hours if I'm interested about something that you're interested in as well. That would be ideal. But I do not make new friends easily. I am very socially awkward, and I always think that when I talk too much and that I will annoy people, and maybe you know what I mean, maybe you don't. But yeah, I found this Flosstuber who we figured that we have a lot in common, and we always find more stuff that we have in common, and we have been talking a bit. And her name is Dobby. Her Flosstube channel is Covered in Floss. I will put it down below. Also the first channel that I'm actually doing a shout out for, and I know I should do that more. And hopefully I will in the future if I remember. But yeah, I have watched her Flosstubes for a bit. She's also a new Flosstuber, so I think she only has 3 videos up as well. And she also plays Dungeons and Dragons, which I found out in, I don't know when she said it, in her second Flosstube video, or her third? No, her second. And she said something in her last video about when she watched my videos and I stitch a lot of projects for my Dungeons and Dragons characters, that she would like to stitch a picture of her character, but they are very, very detailed. Like character pictures, portraits are usually very detailed, and that would be a large full coverage picture. And I was thinking like, yeah, because I do have 2 of those and they are very, very large. So that kind of had me thinking it would, because I had been contemplating for a while that I would love to have smaller character portraits for all of my, for my Dungeons & Dragons characters that I could stitch, that would go more quickly, that I could make like a small centerpiece for everything character related and make it someday maybe make it into a wall for and I always had the same issue, like if I would just want to stitch a portrait of the character, then it would at least have to be 400 or 300 by 300 to look nice. And I was like, okay, let me think. And I have dabbled in pixel art once or twice. I have some very small pixel art cross-stitch patterns in my Etsy shop. And I thought, what about if I made a picture of my character in pixel art? I could make that small, and that would be quick to stitch. So I did try my hand at pixel art, because I draw a lot, and I draw characters mainly, but pixel art is not an art style I usually do. So that is new to me. And I worked on it for a while and played around with it and converted it into WinStitch. I think it's WinStitch, the cross-stitch program that I use. And then I had to convert some of the colors, because obviously when you use a larger color palette in a graphics program, even if it's pixel art, the colors do not translate one-to-one into DMC floss colors, which are the same colors that CXC uses. So I had to change a few colors and play around with it in WinStitch, and this is what I came up with. So this is my first D&D character. So he is the first one who actually got a picture made. This is 100 by 100 stitches. So it is only 10,000 stitches, which for a full coverage is not much. And I was like, I could probably stitch this up in a month. So I started it. Because of course I made it, so I had to try it and see how it looked like. And if you follow me on Instagram, you already have seen it. And this is how far I am. As you can see, it stitches up quickly, and it is about 36% now. And this is gonna be tiny, because wait, my cat, stop it, baby, you can't get up here now. This is on a leftover piece of the 20, I think it's the 28 count fabric that I use for my larger full coverages. So I'm basically using fabric scraps that I still had lying around, and it only has a few colors, I think 34, if at all, or 24, I would have to check, and 3 or 4 blends. And I don't know if I'm too happy with the blends. I mean, maybe you can see it, because obviously it looks different in the mock-up. Here, in this darker gray here, in the skin color, there is a very subtle change. It's quite hard to see, but this one is a solid, the middle one is a blend, and the light one is also a blend. So there are 5 different shades of gray. But I will see how this looks when I finished it. So thank you, Dobby, for giving me this involuntary inspiration. And if you have not watched her Flosstubes yet, I can highly recommend go watch her Flosstube. She is wonderful. And she has been stitching for quite a while, so she has some lovely finishes that she shows in her first Flosstube video. So definitely go watch. And I do hope that one day we will manage to meet up in person, because we are both in Germany, but we are on different ends of the country. So not close, but not that close. But maybe we will manage to eventually. So that was my starts. Now I do have a little bit of haul that I can show you, and some projects that I worked on that I will also show you. So I think, yeah, let's start with the other projects that I worked on. So I pulled out some, let's see if I do not know if I even have a picture. Yeah, I do. This is a kit that I bought from AliExpress a while ago, all the way back when I started stitching. So as I said in my whip parade, I have no idea if this is stolen from anywhere, as sadly many of the Chinese kits are, which is unfortunate. I did not know back then when I started. And I am doing this to eventually give to my mother when I'm finished with it. This is how far I am with it. I'm stitching it on the fabric that came with the kit and the floss that came with the kit, which is not my favorite. I mean, neither is but it's mainly the floss. I don't know if it's actual DMC, but it is very thin, so it's nothing like the CXC I usually work with. And what I did is I finished the lettering up here, and I finished filling in all the white behind the lettering. It's really hard to see because the fabric is some sort of creamy of white. I hope you can see it. But I'm sure it will be beautiful once I finished it. But it is not my favorite to work on, but I will continue it because I want to give it to my mother eventually. But I do not have a garden. My parents, however, do have a beautiful garden, and as they will retire, my father will retire this year. My mother probably, I don't know, in a year or two. I'm not sure. She's a bit younger. A year younger, so not that much. So they have a beautiful garden, and they do love their garden. I love their garden, but I'm not there often enough to actually really enjoy it. So we live too far away. The commute is very stressful, so I don't go there often enough. Maybe one day we are planning to eventually move closer to, but it's not decided yet, so can't say much about that, but it would be nice. The other thing I worked on is this one, and I cannot show you a finished picture of it because it is a stitch along that has just started. There are only 2 parts of it out, and I have not even finished the first one, but when I saw that the second part was out, I did have to start it. So this is the Treasure Island stitch along by Owl Forest Embroidery. It is free, so you can get it on their website if that is something that interests you. And I am a huge fan of Treasure Island, so I always have been. Pirates and adventure and all of that. I have so much to work on, but I could not pass that one up. That I had to get it. And the other thing that I pulled out of sort of timeout is another Dungeons and Dragon piece, actually my oldest Dungeons and Dragon piece, which I had a love-hate relationship with for a while. This is the finished picture. The colors are not very accurate because my printer does not like me very much. This is artwork that I made. I drew this. This is my character, and this is the character of a friend. So these two had some sort of relationship going. I mean, I wouldn't call it a relationship, it was more like a friends with benefits kind of situation. And unfortunately, she has since stopped playing with us for health reasons. So it was kind of sad, but I still do love these two characters. Or of course I love my character, but I also still love her character. Even their relationship ended before she left, but I still enjoy the art I made of them before that, and I do enjoy stitching on it. So at least I do again now. This is how far I am with it. And I just worked on his hair for a bit to get into the next page finish. I did quite a lot in this part. I will check if I can show you a picture of where it was before, but it's really not that much difference because I have... I'm a bit crazy as in going all the way around, and this fabric definitely needs a wash. It is a bit dirty. And that is one thing that does happen when you are like me, and I do stitch it exclusively stitch in hand. I do not use hoops, I do not use Q-snaps or scroll frames or what have you, mainly because I have hoops, I did not like them, and I cannot afford good Q-snaps or scroll frames or whatever. I probably could if I saved up for that, but I have learned to stitch in hand. I have stitched in hand for the past 2 years, almost 2 years since I started again. So that is what I do, and that is what I like. But yeah, as I said, I had a love-hate relationship with this for a while because I did all of this bottom part here. Am I holding it into the camera? No, there. All of this bottom part here. And no, not here. Here. This, you can see it on the fabric. There's obviously been stitching there. And I originally went down here because I wanted to have sort of a border of this, and I miscounted somewhere up here while going down by a whole row. And you didn't see it, of course, but you would have seen it eventually. So this whole part here that had been done, and all the way across where some things had been done, you can see it where the fabric has some coloring, discoloring here, and all the way across. I had to frog all of that. And when I had to frog all of that, or after I frogged all of that, I kind of fell out of love with this for a while and I stopped working on it. And also I have a new piece that I started of my character with with his current partner, which is very dear to me. And obviously that had priority, right? But I will get back to this because this is also one of the big pieces that I am furthest along with. So, and as you can see, because I have it in my hand all the time, it is a bit dirty. So this will definitely need a wash once I'm finished with it, because I do not want to do this multiple times. I don't know how well it will work with the colors and everything if I wash it too much. So that's the 2 other projects that I've worked on. 3 other projects that I worked on. And I'm just checking my notes real quick to make sure I don't forget anything. This is editing Zen here. Of course I forgot something. Sorry about the zipper. As I said, scatterbrain. Or as I will say, because this is future me. Past me will say that in a bit. I also worked on this one. And I do not know, I have it in my notes. I don't know how I forgot that I worked on it. It was shortly after I filmed my last video 2 weeks ago, before I got into the other new starts and restarts for Mania. But I did work on it. And I will show you in a moment how far I am. And I will get back to it soon because I absolutely love this piece. This is... Am I holding it right? Yes. this is where I am. I have worked a little bit more on the rock and on the sky. Here, let me see if I can. Oops, this should work. On the rock and the sky beside the rock, filling out the sky, because you can see. And again, how do you people manage to hold up large projects with one hand? You really need to teach me that. Let's do it like this. That's better. Here, where this part is, this darker part here, is where the clouds will come in. So I have worked on filling in all of the sky here, which is a lot of stitching. So you can see these stitches are tiny. But the detail in this rock is amazing to me. I cannot point because I can't see it. And I've started to look for the dragon. Well, it's actually here. The wing's gonna come in here. That's where his wingtip is. And I just wanted to stitch on the actual dragon for a bit, so I gave the wing a few stitches. But yeah, that's the last. I think this time it is really the last piece that I actually did work on. So back to the video. Oh yeah, haul. So I did get a few things. Obviously you saw the variegated threads that I got. These that I will definitely keep an eye on and get more of. I also got these. I don't exactly know when I got them. And sorry for the glare, I have not opened them yet. I always look for cross-stitch stuff in our local stores, and when I find something that is not as expensive, as you can see, it's $2.50, so I had to get these, and I will eventually try them. I think these are sort of glitter metallic. Maybe they're similar to Kreinik, but I've never tried Kreinik before. We have Kreinik somewhere here because my flatmate bought it for one of his projects. So, but I've never stitched with that before. Floss. Yeah, I also got another. This is a bit crinkly. I'm sorry about that. If that upsets you. I also got another shipment of CXC floss that I ordered, which I was missing in some of my projects. This is packed, so I think I have already taken a few out of these, and this is the other half of it. I think they are 12 or 13 different colors. So that is floss. And another thing I got, because as I said, when we go to my parents' place, we do commute, we go by local, by public transport, and we do have to switch trains in between. And one city where we need to get off our train and go to another train, we have to wait at that train station for somewhat between half an hour and 45 minutes, because that is just Germany and public transport. Let me not get started on that, because that is a whole different tangent. So I went into the store that sells magazines and such, which you probably all know. Every bigger train station has those, right? Where you can buy magazines and newspapers and drinks and cigarettes if you smoke and whatnot. And I got a cross-stitch magazine. I usually do not buy paper magazines because I do use the Readly app, but it does not have this magazine. I think it is made. They do have a website. It's Korikamo, I think. If I figured. Oh yeah, it is. It's this website. It's a German website, but they have a lot of cross-stitch patterns, PDF patterns. They also have an app, so if that's something that interests you, you can go take a look. I don't know if they have an English version. if you do not know German. But I bought this for these two patterns. This one, this floral one, and especially for this one, because if you saw my whip parade, you know that I do like nature motifs a lot and things that have forests, and because one day I want to own a house somewhere in the middle of nowhere, preferably like a homestead or something where I do not have neighbors, because I don't deal well with having too many people around me and noise and everything. So the fact that I live in an apartment in a city is not very good for me. So this magazine doesn't have much in it. It's basically just the cross stitch patterns that it comes with, which is these ones. And I think that's all the patterns that are in there. Yeah, and then it's just the paper charts, and I'm obviously not going to show you that. And then it has, I think it has some information of them where you can, yeah, what kind of charts you can buy from them when you go to their websites and such. So it's not like the American magazines that I know that Readly has, where you have a lot of information about cross stitch and different designers and everything. This is basically just a few pages. It is just the designs on top and the charts for it, and then 2 or 3 pages of this particular website that makes this that prints this magazine and what you can buy there, and that's it. Which is fine by me, because if I buy magazines, I buy them for the patterns, and I don't actually read magazines. Yeah, last thing I wanted to talk about, and this is already getting long and I'm rambling a lot. So I have felt, or I am feeling an itch to try my hand at making my own project bags. Because I have seen so many of you use such beautiful project bags, and I would love to, but I cannot honestly, God, I'm missing words again. I cannot honestly justify paying for almost 40 euros plus shipping for a project bag. And I'm not saying they are too expensive. They are not. They are beautiful, and you deserve all the money that you take for them, if those of you who make them. But they are not in my budget, is what I'm saying. And I know how to sew. I used to sew a lot when I was younger. As mainly a comic artist, I used to be very much into manga and anime when I was younger. Not so much anymore. But as such, I used to cosplay. And if you don't know what cosplay is, it's you wear costumes and dress up like a character from a show that you like, and usually, or at least that's what it was, how it was way back when I did it. You sew and you craft those costumes yourself. These days you can also buy them, which is totally fine, no shade on people who do that. Not everyone has the time and money and knowledge and equipment to sew them themselves, but we did, and that was like 15 up to 20 years ago, so it's been a while. And I made my own costumes, and I did that a lot. So technically I can sew. I have a sewing machine, and my flatmate also has a sewing machine, and he also has an overlock machine, because he used to be a tailor. So anything that I cannot do, I can go to for him. I can go to him for, so that grammar, and ask him how to do it. So I was like, I want to try my hand at making project bags, because I have not used my sewing machine in ages. So I went to a local store that we have. It's called Action. I think it's originally from the Netherlands, but we have those here as well. And they are something like a dollar store. Like most stuff they sell is very, very cheap. And I did get 2 cheap fabrics. This is just some. It's very cheap fabric. I think I paid €1 each for them or so. And I watched some tutorials like how you do it with the lining and that you iron onto the fabric to make it look thicker, or not look, to make it thicker and more sturdy. And I ordered that. I ordered the clear vinyl. That it hasn't arrived yet, so if at all, I will show it in my next video. But I ordered that. I ordered zippers in the right size, so I will try that next week after my art market. And once everything has arrived, I will take out my sewing machine and try to make project bags. And if I figure that I like that, I will eventually make project bags with my own fabric, because I do design fabric and I do sell fabric. Not me personally. I put my designs up on a page called Spoonflower. Maybe some of you who sew a lot have heard about it. The fabric there is more on the expensive side, but it is designer fabric. So, and I do need, when I put up designs there, I do need to order fabric proofs. I usually order small pieces, like they are 20 by 20 or 25 by 25 centimeters. And because I have to order them and then check if the quality looks good, and then I can sell them. And then you can go to that website and order the fabric I designed, and then make your own projects with that if that's what you want to do. And these fabric pieces, little quarters that I have to order, are I had been thinking what to do with them, and when I originally started that, and they are too small for project bags, because they are 20 by 20. They are like this. And we started, and I was like, we could make little zipper pouches out of them, and I can show you them because I have them here. And this is the size of the fabric. This is one piece of fabric, and it is big enough to make one of these little zipper pouches out of it. I did not make these. My flatmate made these pouches. He sews them. I designed the fabric, and he makes the pouches out of it, and then I sell them. Usually I take them to art markets with me, but I also do have them in my shop, not in my CrossFit shop, but in my main Etsy shop where I sell my art and everything. If you are interested in getting one of these tiny little things, I will put a link down in my description. So the newest ones are not on there yet, but I will put them on there after the market this weekend, if there are any left. Usually they are, because these are €10 each, and people usually don't spend that much money on markets. They more like buy cheaper things. And yeah, let me show them to you real quick. These are my newer ones. I think I have them in 2 colors. Yes, I also have them in black. And yeah, it's D20 dice, right? Because Dungeons and Dragons, obviously. And yeah, these are too small for project bags. They are more like zipper pouches where you can put pens in, or maybe you could put bobbins in there. I don't know. Then I have this one. And these are all the fabrics that you can actually order. If you look at the fabrics and say, oh, I love this fabric, I want to use that for my own project bags, I will also put a link to my Spoonflower shop below. So if you order from them, I get a small commission of it. So that would of course be lovely if you like them. Small shameless plug here. And then I have these ones. It's been pink and in green and blue. So I'm thinking these would be lovely for project bags, right? Of course, I would have to order bigger scraps of not scraps, but at least a fat quarter, which is more expensive for me. But I could do that if I get into making project bags. I would totally think about ordering that bigger pieces instead and making project project bags out of them. So these are my crystal ones. I have 5 different colors of these. These are in my shop, and because these are a bit older, it's just the ones that I showed you before that I do not sell online yet. I will next week if I have some left. Then I have 2, these were also originally 5 colors, 2 of these cute little froggy ones I have left over, and then I have a few of this. This is one of my favorite designs that I've made so far. And I am totally thinking about at least making myself a project bag with this fabric, because it's space, right? It's moon and stars, it's beautiful. And I have this huge galaxy project that I'm doing for my flatmate, and that would be a perfect project bag for that. And since that's an insanely huge full coverage, I will probably be working on that for a few years. So having a project bag for that would be perfect, right? And the last thing I got is scissors. I don't technically need it because I have this here, which is a very, I think it's a quite expensive fabric scissor that I snatched also from my flatmate, which I use for everything. I know you should not do that, so please don't scream at me for doing it. I use it for paper, for fabric, I use it for everything. It's my everything scissors. So, but yeah, that's it. We are almost at an hour again. How did that happen? As I said, I am in person. I am quite shy, but when I get to talking, I talk a lot and I don't stop. So that being said, I did hope you enjoyed watching, even if it was more talk and less show this time than I usually do. And I will try to keep these videos at least bi-weekly, maybe weekly, I'm not sure, but they would be shorter if I do them weekly and just show what I worked on over the week, but that would also be easier for me to remember everything. I just would have less to show, but I will think about it and we'll see how this goes. And but yeah, I do hope you enjoyed. If you do, please like and subscribe if you want to see more and keep watching in the future. And what was I gonna say? That's also a thing. I forget what I was going to say. Especially today, I seem to be a little scatterbrained. It's probably the heat. But yeah, I hope I will see you next time. And yes, have a great weekend, day, whenever you are watching this, night, stitchy time. And feel free to leave me a comment. I try to answer all of them, and I love to chat with you anytime, anywhere. And until next time, friends. Bye bye.